us what that looks like and what being an ally really means. It can be a lot of work, but I think getting into venture can be a lot of work too. So I appreciate you sharing that. Next up, Monique Woodard will be speaking.
Hi, everyone. I'm Monique Woodard, and I started my career in tech as a founder. I've been a founder twice, and then I moved on to the investor side of the table, first at 500 Startups, then scouting for Lightspeed, and now as GP and raising a new fund, Cake Ventures. And so I come to this conversation having seen some of the challenges from a lot of different vantage points. When I moved here, when I moved to Silicon Valley in 2008, I was going to demo days and I was going to events, and my friends and I would see no other Black entrepreneur in the room. And this was not that long ago. 2008 sounds like a long time ago, but it's really not. And so we started Black Founders. But what we learned through starting Black Founders and trying to build the ecosystem of entrepreneurs was that if we weren't touching capital, all of that ecosystem building was for nothing, because VCs were still not investing in Black founders. And so then I moved on to the investor side of the table, because I knew that this is my life's work and that something has to change. Over the last few weeks, a lot of my peers, my white peers, have reached out to ask what they can be doing and what they should be doing to help. And so I have a few things that I think they should be doing and thinking about. The first is to act within your sphere of influence. Black founders are often over-mentored and underinvested. Check your desire to open up office hours and mentor exclusively versus your ability to write a check. If you can do both, that is wonderful. But if you have the ability to write a check, but you will only offer mentorship to Black founders, that is only helpful to your ego. Recognize that the funding gap for Black founders starts on day zero. With less access to friends and family capital, entrepreneurs are less able to meet the metrics that will allow them to raise institutional capital. Any initiative to democratize access to capital for Black founders has to start at the earliest stages. Without it, founders will not make it to the later stages. I support in full the development of new models, new nonprofits, donor-advised funds, and we should absolutely be supporting those nonprofits who are trying to eliminate the racial bias in our industry. Not having any startups led by Black founders in your portfolio is a failure that can't be donated away. There are excellent founders running businesses today that deserve investment and not charity. We should also be well beyond this idea of separate but equal. But in venture, it seems as though we are moving right back there. Black entrepreneurs don't need a separate water fountain. You have to fix the systemic issues in your funds that keep Black founders out and keep you from delivering better returns. And then finally, I say this as a Black GP who has gone into many meetings with LPs. Invest in and support funds led by Black GPs. Most of the Black investors over the last several years, way before Black VC started, we became investors by raising our own funds, because a path into venture through partnership was so rarely available to us. And yet we have not had equitable access to LP dollars, institutional or otherwise, resulting in smaller and more hard-won funds than our white peers. I've said so many times, and a lot of the GPs on this call will empathize, that raising a fund is like crawling through glass. Raising a fund as a Black person is like crawling through glass with no clothes on. And then raising a fund as a Black woman is like crawling through glass with no clothes on and covered in fire ants. But we do it anyway because we believe that there is change to be had. And we will not wait because Black lives do matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Monique. I think that's really powerful to hear, especially we've been hearing a lot about from the Black community about the idea of investing in Black founders, Black entrepreneurs, Black investors. And that's not help, that's investing. So thank you for speaking to that. Next, we have Delane, who's going to